I've had this habit for a long time. Every night before bed, I often scroll through private groups to read about other people's lives. Not because I'm nosy, but because sometimes you'll find in someone else's story a part of your own life. One day, in a private women's group for secret confessions, I came across a post with no photo, no comments. The poster used an anonymous account, then left only one caption. I had an affair, and I lost my entire life because of a hug. I was curious and clicked in. At first, I thought it was just a short confession. But the more I read, the tighter my chest felt. Every detail, every emotion, every moment in that story felt so real that I lost sleep for 2 nights straight. If you think infidelity is simply betrayal, then please listen to this whole story. It begins with a woman, a wife, a mother, and a hollow in her heart that no one cared enough to fill. The main character of the story shall be called Jay, a 32-year-old woman, married with a 5-year-old daughter. Jay met T when she was 22, a final-year university student. T was 4 years older, a software engineer, gentle, quiet, and kind. They dated for nearly 4 years, overcoming all kinds of challenges, from long distance, financial struggles, to mild objections from their families. Eventually, they got married on a blazing hot summer day. The early stage of their marriage was peaceful. T wasn't very romantic, but always hardworking, picking her up from work, saving to buy a house in installments, and then they had their first daughter nearly 2 years after getting married. Everything seemed perfect, until Jay started feeling like she was just a shadow in her own home. After their child was born, T became even quieter. He spent most of his time working and taking care of the baby. But that care felt like it came from a programmed robot. Specific tasks at specific times, fixed routines, weekend errands. No more hugs, no more hand-holding. Jay tried everything to revive the romance. Changed her hairstyle, bought sexy sleepwear, initiated intimacy. But all efforts were turned down with excuses like tired, busy, maybe later. Jay began to feel ugly, redundant, invisible. She once thought about divorce, but gave up because her daughter was still too young, and deep down, she still loved T, or at least loved the image of the man he used to be. She switched jobs because her old company laid off staff after the pandemic. At the new company, she met H, a man 3 years younger, working in the media department. H was energetic, witty, polite, and very thoughtful. At first, it was just work-related chats. Then came small personal questions during breaks. Have you eaten? You look tired. Is something wrong? Then came after-work coffees, late-night texts, and deeper conversations about marriage, loneliness, the feeling of being forgotten. They often talked about films, books, and music. One time, H sent her a playlist of sad ballads with a message. I think you'll relate to this. She cried by the 3rd song. H once said to her something that made her burst into tears. I don't know what you're lacking in your marriage, but if the person beside you doesn't see your worth, that's truly a shame. One rainy afternoon, Jay and H got stuck in the company lobby because her motorbike broke down. H offered to give her a ride. In the car, no one spoke. But when H stopped the car, he held her hand as she was about to get out. Can I give you a hug? No reason, just I feel like you need one. Jay said nothing. She nodded. That hug lasted less than a minute. but it made her heart tremble. After that day, the light touches became more frequent. Hands brushing while opening a door, shoulders bumping in a crowded cafe. Once, H gently touched her cheek when he noticed her lipstick was smudged and whispered, "You're always beautiful, just that no one bothers to look closely." A 2-day business trip organized by the company. J and H stayed at the same hotel, different rooms. But that night, after the team dinner, H texted, "I can't sweep. Can I see you for 10 minutes?" J wasn't going to reply, but she opened the door. At first, they talked. Then came a soft touch to her hair. Then, eye contact. And then, no more distance. J didn't resist when H leaned in to kiss her. His hands touched her back, then slowly removed each piece of her clothing. She could only gasp and surrender. For the first time in 5 years, she felt like a real woman again. After that night, J and H didn't stop. They met whenever possible. Lunchtime hourly hotels, fake company events on weekends, even once pretending to go on a business trip just to spend a night together. H started talking about the future. "How about we take a trip, like a real couple?" J hesitated, but agreed. That trip, 3 days, 2 nights, was the happiest she had felt in the past 5 years. But also the moment she began to feel unbearable guilt. She secretly looked at a photo of her daughter on her phone while lying in H's arms. She began to wonder, if my child ever finds out, what will she think of her mother? But the affair between the two continued. More frequent meetings, more nights together. And then, what was meant to happen, happened. One day, Jay came home earlier than usual. She saw T sitting at the table, her phone lying open in front of him, with the chat thread with H on full display. No shouting, no anger. T simply asked, "How long has this been going on?" Jay cried. She knelt. She begged. But T just silently went into the bedroom and closed the door. After that day, he continued life as usual, picking up their child, cleaning, cooking. But he didn't speak to her, didn't look her in the eye, didn't say her name. 2 months later, Jay found out T was texting romantically with another woman, a new colleague at his company. Messages, photos, even flight tickets booked for 2. She confronted him. T simply said, "I kept silent, forgave, tried to move on, but I don't love you anymore. I can't trust you anymore." At that moment, she knew she was wrong, had destroyed everything. But it was too late. Jay now had nothing left. H was forced to transfer departments, then resigned. T filed for divorce. Custody of their daughter went to him. The reason listed for divorce? Incompatible life perspectives. But Jay knew too well. It was the result of her mistake she once thought was being loved again. After everything, she rented a small apartment, lived alone, with no close friends because she was too ashamed to face anyone. Sometimes H still texted, but she no longer had the courage to reply. She wanted to let go of everything in the past, but even after all these years, she still deeply regretted what she had done. And the final line in that post is something I will never forget. If you're feeling lonely in your marriage, please speak up. Don't silently endure. Don't seek warmth in places that don't belong to you, because the price you pay could be your entire life.